Welcome to our weekly Timeless Principles for Extraordinary Living with Dr. Alex. Dr. Alex believes that you were born for extraordinary exploits, to be an exhibition of divine abundance. Today's session, as all others, will inspire you to experience extraordinary living. Join Dr. Alex now.
Welcome to Timeless Principles with me, Dr. Alex. I'm so excited that you were able to join me again as we continue with our theme, the kingdom priority of management. We've been doing this theme for a number of weeks now, and today we are doing module 3, part 4, and this is a module where I am just summarizing the key lessons that we've done today. So it's more of a summary, and I want to hit hard some of those things. But let me remind you again of our motto. What I manage, it improves, it grows, and it increases. I want to say that again. What I manage, it improves, it grows, and it increases. What we have been doing the last few weeks, I've been drawing from several areas of my life, drawing from academic as an academic, and as an apostle, and also drawing from business, entrepreneur, and pulling them together to talk about one of what I believe is a core priority of the kingdom, something we call management. I just want to draw lessons from what I've said, and I just want to emphasize a few things that if you forget everything I said in the last few weeks, may you not forget the Firstly, I am a strong believer, and I want to emphasize it without any hesitation, that we serve a God of abundance. Elohim, Jehovah, is a God of abundance. Yet, you will only be allowed access to his abundance based on your management ability. I want to say this. You need to hear that. I know you look at the other guy who has abundance and you want to find reasons why they have. You look at the other races which seemingly have abundance all the time. You sometimes think, I know somebody who lives with me always say, but God, what will God? Why God? And the answer is very simple. Your ability to manage determines the extent of your success. It's nothing to do with where you were born. It's nothing to do with what you have studied in school. It's nothing to do with the color of your skin or the type of your gender. I know now there's genderless people, don't want to be he, don't want to be her, they want to be they, whatever the case is. But the point is, it is your ability to manage that determines the extent of your success. Let's hammer that. You serve a God of abundance. May you not live a life of poverty simply because you refused a priority kingdom principle called management. Because you simply ignored it and said, Dr. Alex, I want you to be preaching to me. I want you to talk about souls. Why are you talking about management? Listen, friend, I'm talking about management. The second lesson, why I'm talking about this, that I want you to remember, is that Elohim created humans as custodians of what belongs to him. Let me say those words again. Everything created belongs to him. You and I are custodians. We were brought in the physical realm to be custodians. This is why I emphasize in the teaching, I want to hit this hard. He held back growth. He held back progress. He held back increase until the human was formed. Go back to Genesis chapter 2, which I spent time in the beginning. I said he held back. The Bible says there was no growth. There was no increase. Why? Because there was no man, there was no human to be the custodian. He wouldn't allow the fruit to grow. He wouldn't allow the progress to happen because there was no custodian. And I argue custodianship was the primary motivation for your creation. I use the word management instead of custodianship. Management was the primary motivation of your creation. Let your spirit capture this. Each time you wake up in the morning, may you wake up and say, I was brought here to be a manager. Something for things that belongs to my Father, for things that belong to Elohim. It is management, not religion, that you were brought for. I know you love your religion. I love mine as well. We love to spend all our time doing our religious rituals, going in circles. You are brought here for religion. Religion is what humans created in an effort to reach Him after the fall. But we are not here for religion. We are here as custodians, as managers. Let's make men, He said, them have dominion over all the earth. That's the reason we're here. And management is the dominion strategy. It's management, not religion, that is your dominion strategy. I've given you 2 lessons. Let me show you 2 case studies that emphasize these lessons. A study that we did was in 2 Kings chapter 4, which is a case study that I call management transforming from poverty to abundance. 2 Kings chapter 4 verse 1 to 7, we read the story. I spent more time to explain it, but now because we're summarizing, I want you to remember just a few thoughts about the story. Number 1 that you must remember about the story, the prophetic word that this lady, that this widow woman had received, only performed for her when she put into action her management skills. Let me say it again. She had received a prophetic word. The prophetic word only performed when she put into action her management skills. I explained what she managed. Just to remind you a few, she managed her faith. She managed her relationships. She managed her resources. She managed responsibilities. There are specific things she managed. And it was her ability to manage made the prophetic word come to pass. Can I put it this way to you as I want you to remember it? Her task was not to make the word perform. That's not your job. Your job is not to make the word perform. Will make the word perform. But your task is to perform your management responsibilities. I put it to you today as we summarize this management theme. It was the extent of her management that determined the extent of her breakthrough. You will read in the story that at one point she says to the children, bring me another vessel. And the children said, there's no more other vessels. And when the ability of her managing her resources came to an end, the oil also stopped. The oil did not stop because no prophetic word was on the oil, but the oil stopped because her resource management had reached its limit, and the breakthrough stopped at that place. I put it to you again. It is a case study that shows us that management is the dominion strategy. I gave you a second case study. Remember, I'm just summarizing now, but I'm just bringing them home. I want them to come home. The second case study, I call it a kingdom measure of our worthiness. A kingdom measure. How is our worthiness measured in the kingdom? This was in Matthew 25. Yeshua teaches this. He said, the kingdom of heaven is like a man. My goodness. This is a case study about what the kingdom uses to measure your worthiness, my worthiness. In this case study, I showed you from 14 that there were 3 servants who were each entrusted with bags of gold. One was entrusted with 5 bags of gold. The other was entrusted with 2 bags of gold. The one was entrusted with 1 bag of gold. And in that case study, it already says they were entrusted according to their management ability. I didn't start and showed you that what if the master had swapped and given the man with 1 bag the 5, and I showed you that the result would have been worse. So the management ability of these men were known, and what they were entrusted with was determined by their management ability. May I just say to you today, they knew the expectation of the master. It was very clear. Go back to the case study. They were expected to grow the gold, to increase the gold. They were expected that when the master comes back, the amount of gold they have is more than what he gave them. Can I say to you today, Elohim has an expectation over the gifts and the talents that he has placed over you. Elohim has an expectation of the things that he has put to you. He is expecting growth. He is expecting increase. He is expecting that when you leave this world, when you appear before him one day, you will not be carrying the same quantities that he placed over you. You will show that I exercise my management ability, and these are the results. Can I explain to you that 2 of those servants exercised their management abilities, and the result was 100% increase. The one with 5 bags of gold came back and said, I exercise my management ability. Here is another 5. The one with 2 bags of gold says, I exercise my management ability. Here is another 2. And then we see what the kingdom of heaven does. The kingdom of heavens then defines them as well done, good, and faithful. Their categorization, whoa. This is teaching. I'm talking here. I don't want to get excited. They were categorized. They were labeled. They were given names in keeping with their exercise of their management skills. Good, faithful is associated with people who want to exercise their management skills. It's so beautiful. Then what happens is they were invited to share in the master's abundance. There's much more when you exercise your management skills. There's much more when you do what you're supposed to do. The one servant refused to manage. He comes back and he says, Master, number 1, I knew the expectation. I knew that you wanted more when you came back than you gave me. But still, Master, I was not willing to exercise my management. I charge your spirit as you think about this series. May you not be like this man who refused to exercise the management skill. What has the Lord given you? What is in your house? What is in your skills? I am not asking what's your education level. That doesn't matter in this case. Every human who is on earth has been given by the master. We all possess some talents. Are you managing what you have been given? Or are you like this man? Let's see what the master says. The master then says, here is your title. Here is your categorization. Lazy, wicked, and worthless servant. My goodness, can you believe that? What we call wicked is not what the kingdom calls wicked. The kingdom says to this man, because you sat on the management skills, you are worthless. You are wicked. You are lazy. I pray that that doesn't become your categorization. So, Dr. Alex, why are you doing all you're doing? Because I've been given something by the Lord. I've been given something by Elohim. I will not sit on what Elohim has given me. Don't sit on what Elohim has given you. So see from these case studies, number one is that in good management, heaven allows growth. Heaven allows progress. Heaven allows increase. Heaven allows abundance. Heaven allows extraordinary living where there is good management. I decree by faith that as you choose, as you begin to manage, you will begin to see growth flowing. You will begin to see progress manifesting. You will begin to see abundance manifesting. And you have an extraordinary life as you execute your management skill. You have to say, Dr. Alex, I need to learn about management, because if it's so important, I cannot afford to be called lazy, worthless, and wicked. The case studies are showing us that in bad management, heaven withholds all the above. Further, bad managers lose even the little that they already have. Why? Because there's a kingdom principle that says, he who has what? He who has the willingness to manage will be given more. But the one who has not the willingness to exercise their management, even the little responsibility will be taken away. I say, that's not your portion. You will not lose what on the altar of poor management. I can see great increase, great abundance. I can see great growth in your life because you are choosing to be a good steward, a good custodian, a good manager. Bad management is at the core of the pain of Africa. Bad management is at the core of the pain of black communities everywhere. It doesn't matter which country you go in where you find black communities. Bad management is at the core of our pain. I have sent to help you remove that pain. And you remove that pain by knowing what it is you've been given, how to grow it, how to manage it. Lesson 3. Remember, I'm just summarizing this lesson so that I kind of get excited on this. I'm teaching here. The lesson 3, I've given you 2 already. Lesson 3 that I want you to remember. The greatest hope is that management is a learnable skill. No one will stand before God one day with an excuse that I didn't have the gift of management. Nobody. Because it's a learnable skill. Anyone who wishes can learn it. For that reason, what we then did in the series was then to define management. So that everyone who says, Dr. Alex, I see it's a priority, I want to learn it. What is it? We said management is the process of deploying resources to achieve results effectually. My definition was management is the critical path for human success. In our definition, we then looked at 4 key functions of management. We call them POLC, P-O-L-C. It's on the screen for you. And those 4 functions, we call them planning, organizing, leading, and control. Remember, just summarizing so that you make sure. So if you say, Dr. Alex, I want to learn management, I would say to you, let's sit down. Number 1, let's learn planning. Number 2, let's learn organizing. Number 3, let's learn leading. Number 4, let's learn control. When there's great organization, there's joy. You look at an event where there was great organization, people are excited. People say, wow, even in a bush, you can have a great organization, and you can see the joy because that's the dominion strategy. Of these 4, we explained them very briefly. We packaged each one. Planning, we say, is the mother of all management. Planning as a minimum must produce the dream, which is vision, mission, and value. Number 2, it must produce the goal, the game plan, which are the goals, the objectives, the strategies, the activities. So planning as the mother of all management. It is the thinking stage. Once you finish planning, then you trigger the other 3, which are the implementation phase, which number 2 was organizing, which is structuring, which is coordinating, which is culture, which is social networks. And you look at leading, which is the people side of management, where you influence, you inspire, you motivate, you take decisions so that people can behave in direction of the plans. And then the last one was control, which is about setting standards, systems, and processes, which is about monitoring, evaluation, and feedback. This was what we covered from a bit of a technical side. I want to pull this together by going back to the prayer of the great king. The prayer of the great king in Psalm 20 verse 4. He prays and he says, may he give you the desire of your heart. He says, and may he make all your plans succeed. I want to say to you, as I said when I did this, I said, there is no point in praying this prayer if you are not having a plan. The great king understood the value of planning. Plans are the material for your success. It is what Jehovah, it is what Elohim will use for your success. And how do you get plans? By following the management process of planning. I want you to think of me again, the great king. Solomon now, not David. He makes this statement, commit your actions to the Lord and your plans will succeed. I say it again, Jehovah is committed to make your plans succeed. Jehovah is committed to make your plans succeed. If you have no plans, there's nothing he will be committed to. Be inspired to get down to the practice of management and produce plans. I say this text, which was the core of our teaching in management. It says, the plans of the diligent the plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance and advantage, but everyone who acts in haste surely to poverty. I want to hear it in your spirit as we conclude today that abundance does not come by magic. Abundance does not come through witches. I know people go and twasa. People go and do all sorts of things to get money. You are simply selling your soul to the devil. Abundance comes as a consequence of planning. Plan, young person. Abundance is a consequence of management, an engaged activity of management. Yes, you can look at the witch across the river and say, I am poor because that witch bewitched me. And I want to say to you, yes, he might have bewitched you, but poverty is a consequence of bad management. When you don't deliberately manage, you are exposing yourself to an unintended plan of poverty. I said, Africa, can we rise and raise managers? I say to black people everywhere, can we raise managers? Because our poverty is a consequence of lack of management. Yes, the story can change. The story of Africa must change. The story of Africa will change when we raise more managers, when we rush into our prayer mountains, into our all night long prayer. Stand for Jehovah and say, here are our plans. According to your word, the Lord will make all your plans succeed. Make our plans succeed. Then we'll have a different prayer experience and we will have a different Africa. Remember, as I said, management is a kingdom imperative. Remember those words again. Whatever I manage grows, improves, increases. I would love to give you a management assignment as we end today. And I want to challenge you to do this management assignment. Begin first by committing to excel in managing the following 4 things. That's my assignment to you. May it be your commitment to excel in managing the following 4 things. Number 1, manage yourself. Nobody who doesn't manage themselves are going to see abundance. Manage yourself. Let that be your assignment. Dr. Alex, how do we do that? We can set up other sessions to engage that. I manage my life in cycles of 40 days. If we were doing that, I would show you, go through the system and show you what happens. Manage yourself. It begins by setting personal statement of objectives and creating those goals. Let's not get into it. The second thing that I charge you as your assignment, manage relationships. Number one, manage yourself. Number two, manage relationships. Very, very important. There is no Rambo in real life. They are only in the movies. In real life, you need other people for your success. Number three, manage resources. Manage resources. You'll be shocked how much resources you have. But because you don't manage them, you still think you need more. Ask you a simple question. Do you manage your resource called money? Simple resource called money. Manage your resources, number three. Number four, manage your responsibilities. May it never be a case that you get assigned a responsibility and you are the ones who can perform it. But it flows together. I mean, I'm not teaching that part now. When you can't manage yourself, there's no way you will manage your responsibilities. Extraordinary friends, extraordinary people. It was a great honor for me to take this management module. I'm allowing the Lord to help me decide how to move, do a bit of management, or we take a completely different theme. But we were talking, we were teaching. I tried every time not to get into the temptation of preaching. But this was just an introduction. Go home, think about this. You came here for a responsibility of management. Therefore, learn how to and practice it effectively. You will be glad that you did. We love you so much. We truly, 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 and truly love you. We're looking forward to see you in our next modules, in our next theme. God will advise us what is the next theme. I will be listening to him intently, but I am hoping and I'm trusting that these management series will inspire you, but importantly, will provoke you, and you'll rise up and be a great manager. Let our story change, and it's changing by faith. We love you. Look forward to see you at the top.
Thank you for connecting with us on Extraordinary Exploits with Dr. Alex. We value your connection. Join us every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Central African Time. And remember to invite others. Experience extraordinary living.